Okay.
Right, so we are back in again. This is going to be episode 11 of the Do It Rate podcast. I've got Eilidh on this morning. It took me a very long time to actually be able to say a name. I had to have it spelled out to me multiple times to be able to pronounce it right. But yeah, got there eventually. We've been working together, and Connor, we've worked for fucking it's over a year now.
Yeah,
It's been a long time, and there's been a lot of work that's gone into it. But one thing I'll say about these two is the proper the happy-go-lucky, very very relaxed. They like working at their own pace. There's been more than multiple times I've had to go, right, let's get a fucking rocket up both your arses to get this kind of next thing done. But it's been a pleasure to work with. Like we'd originally started the agency, they was like one of the first clients that joined when I'd completed like the initial team. It was like 6 months, like kind of into it when we were really kind of picking things up. And they've been with us when we've evolved with new staff, with new systems, with new approaches, with new management, with new operations. They've like kind of been through the whole evolution of the coach consultant. So it's been pretty cool. I wanted to get Eilidh on today to basically talk about one of her new products, and not just basically about what the product is, but actually why she went into that type of structure. So in essence, what we work towards is building out a group coaching model. And these are getting so much more common in this day and age now. But I think a lot of people out there are doing it for the case of thinking, oh, they're just going to get easy money. And in reality, it does not work like that in any way, shape, or form. And the rationale why Eilidh obviously went for that type of model was based on her own needs assessment. So again, when you've got happy-go-lucky, chill-free lifestyle girl in absolute fucking middle of nowhere in Scotland, like wow! Like when I did a client trips last year, I could not even believe how in the sticks these two were.
Yeah.
Very like small town, mountains. It's beautiful place, but like proper chilled out vibes. But in essence, like we've done well. She's done well building out like the one-to-one online coaching team. But what you got to take into account is when you're building out a one-to-one online coaching team, you've got to actually manage them. Then you've got to actually manage the clients, and you got to think about how it actually does relate to what you want. Because for a person like Eilidh, she likes to be chilled. She likes to have it as nice, steady, and it's not really like the direction that obviously she wants to go in the long term. So it was like, right, okay, let's completely change the model. Let's keep the one-to-one. Let's look at upsells, but then obviously kind of launch the group. So as a first starting point, mate, let's just go for an introduction on who are you? Where are you from? Right, what's your interests? What
Okay.
just tell us about you.
I don't know why this is a scary bit. So thank you for having me on, Ben. So I'm Eilidh Macaskill, and I am an online coach. I've been doing this for coming up 3 years, which is absolutely crazy. And I own Work Train with my fiance Connor. We have, I think, 3 coaches working for us now. I head up Work Life, which is the sort of like female lifestyle side of things. And as a background, I've not got like a background working in gyms or anything like that. I actually started my career, I guess, as a midwife in the NHS. So I worked in the NHS for about 7 years before transitioning to what I do now. And I'm laughing at you, Ben, saying that I'm a chill person, because I think anyone who knows me would disagree. I am such a
No,
anxious.
chilled isn't. No, it's not. Yeah,
I know what you
anxious,
mean.
but
I like I would say that I work hard, but I also very much like to enjoy my life, and I like to practice what I preach, which is a balanced lifestyle, and that is, I think, what I achieve. And I do also want to achieve that, and I guess a work-life balance as well. So yeah, I totally get what you mean with that. But yeah, so me and Connor have had work for coming up 3 years now, and it's been a very quick 3 years. We grew quite quickly. Like Ben said, we live in the middle of nowhere, and it has kind of come from nowhere, I feel, but we have worked also at the same time really hard for what we've achieved. And since working with you guys, we have obviously stepped things right up and now have our group program, which is the Balanced Gal Society, which is like a subscription-based model, just to kind of offer that lower ticket option to people who maybe can't afford online coaching, or, well, like Ben said, so that we can basically reach more people as well. So that's a little bit of that. What else about me? I do, like I say, I live a very balanced life. I like to think I do enjoy, going out and socializing, and I do far too much stuff probably. I just never give myself a day off. I go to the gym a lot and love that, obviously. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
So diving into the business side. So like Eilidh's not got a massive. It's not like Alex Gamble 100K followers, or like Sean Casey or Bethany Dobson where they've got like 600 7K followers. Like how many you
I think
originally
like 4K, like just
4K. So
modest
when
amount.
you started it probably like under 3K, weren't it?
Oh, like
Oh,
wait, like honestly, I started a fitness page first when I knew that I was kind of wanting to go down this route, and then kind of grew from there. But I've always had very good interaction on my page. I would say like I get good, reach like within my following.
yeah, because this is a people think that with the agency in particular, we only worked with like the influencers and the big massive gyms, and I'm like, no, like achievement is relative, right? So on the group coaching launch, we're 130 people on it. I'm like,
Yeah, it obviously like kind of goes up and down a wee bit, but there or thereabouts, yeah.
yeah. So getting 130 people onto a group coaching model with Ellie's following and what they have is a very, very, very good achievement. To put this into perspective, I've just got off a discovery call with someone who's launching a group coaching model who has nearly 200,000 followers, and their target was to hit like 200, 300.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking relative achievement, someone wants to launch the exact same product, only wanted 200, 300, and obviously she achieves 130. It's a very, very, very good effort. But this is the main thing. The main reason that I want to get onto the call, the podcast, really, is to talk about the next steps and how we can educate people on things to do with group. So basically, in essence, like every single group is different, right? Some people are happy just going through the burners, and these guys, they've got the very intensive like Facebook posting schedule. There are automations to plans being sent out. There are accountability check-ins. They've got all that type of stuff, but they still need to do more, right? Because what you got to take into account is to keep a group engaged, you've got to have new things and new structure coming in. So when we was diving, and it's impossible to turn around and go, right, this is what we're launching, because you don't know until you know. Like I know people who have 5,000 people in a Facebook group who don't fucking barely do anything, but they're happy. But they're happy with that. But every group's different. So when we basically set a plan of attack, going right, one, how do we retain better? Two, how do we scale better? We was basically looking at it, going right. In reality, if we look at this from an annual perspective and break it down into quarters and break it down into seasons, you've obviously got January intake, then you've got, I don't know what start of Q2 called, it's April in it, then you've got April, then you've got like the mid-year. So we basically looked at the year and we went, right, first 3 months in yellow, blue, orange thing. So rather than us going and having the same thing, right, how can we differentiate the content strategy in that first 12 weeks versus that second, versus the third, versus the fourth? So what that allows us to do is basically, right, in New Year, because remember, a group is not one-to-one. People are paying for what they're paying for. They're not paying for premium specific one-to-one level coaching. It's low ticket, right? It's about guidance. But in the reality, the new year is about people getting good behaviors. It's about losing body fat. It's about kind of just getting back into the kick of it after Christmas, after eating too much, like I always do. Then coming into the second quarter, it's all about right, getting in fucking shape for summer. It's beach bodies. It's all this type of stuff. Third quarter, you're moving into like the maintenance and starting to go into like just basically like cleaning up after summer almost. And then at the back end of the year, it's basically building your summer body. So I was like, right, from a content strategy perspective, let's just, rather than looking at this as a monthly thing, how can we look at a starting point, which is like week 1 to week 12, and looking at the different phases. And straight away, it's when I was doing the thing. It's funny because I know these two that well. When I was actually building it, I was like, I didn't even check it with them. I was like, because I just knew that they'd be happy with it. Because one, it makes the content more fun. It means there's a start and end date structure. But for me, which is my job, I'm like, sweet, I've got 4 marketing campaigns I can do per year then, which have got different design, different structure, and different approaches to look at 4 volume-based intakes. So based on what we're putting together last time, what's your thought process on the evolution of the group into that?
Yeah, so the evolution of the group kind of going forward, just like in terms of from this.
Yeah, from looking at the phases compared to before, because you explain to people how when you come on to that last call, how did you feel? Do you remember we were like,
Yes. Oh, sorry, I totally understand the question. So I guess when I came on to the last call, I was feeling a little bit not like deflated, but you obviously when you launch something, you do get, well, you don't always, but we had a very good kind of, I guess, like marketing campaign, like kind of pre-Christmas, and it just, you know, we really pushed the group and the interest in the group, and we did get a lot of signups to begin with. And then of course, around about that time of year, like, you know, you get a lot of signups, I guess, coming into January, people wanting to like make all these changes. And then of course, naturally, you do get a little bit of a drop off. And I just was starting to, I guess, worry a little bit like, right, where are we going from here? Because I can see why people are dropping off, because there's not enough structure within the group. There's not enough to keep them there. There's not enough necessarily to keep them there. There's not enough like things to look forward to in the future months, I guess. So I think, and then kind of obviously when you're looking at kind of campaigns and stuff like that, I was just worrying that we were going to be like throwing out all this kind of random stuff that wasn't really targeting the right people, and or it would get some people in but just not at the right time. And I don't know, basically I just felt that we were needing a little bit more structure within the group, and like obviously for taking in new more people as well. So I think kind of going forward, like like you said, we are quite chilled. We're still working through from our end just to kind of come up with a bit of a plan for, I guess, each quarter and like how that's all going to look based off of kind of what you've given us. But I do feel already like a lot more, I guess, excited about it as well. Like it gives us that structure, it gives us that like push to kind of organize the group a little bit more and kind of give the members within the group something to look forward to each month, and you know, have their little kind of goals to work towards within each quarter as well, which I think will work really well. So I guess to answer the question, it just gives more structure, which is ultimately for me making me feel more
Forward,
relaxed about it all.
forward facing structure is the bit that is literally. So I don't know if people will listen to this, but that's what I'm talking about at the convention. What I've learned as an when I was an online coach, I used to do it when I was PT, but especially as like an agency strategist now, I'm managing upwards of 10, 12 one-to-one staff, multiple different moving parts in the business. And what I've isolated is every single thing always comes down to a forward timeline based structure. So I did it. So when you look at a year, we've split it into quarters. Those quarters now allow us to have, right, you've got week one, which is benchmarking. So you've got an assessment on, right, the starting point. Week 12, you've got post benchmarking, so we can compare week 1 against week 12. That's going to allow more social proof going into the next quarter. Alongside that, you've got the actual content strategy based on, right, what we're trying to achieve from week 1 to week 12. We can educate people as an actual journey. And I think that's what a lot of people go wrong. They get to a point where we're like, look, the launch was great and we needed to. It's almost a case of you've got to sink. It's not a sinking ship, but if you've got a bottle of water and you've got holes in that bottle and people are leaking out, you've got to think about how you fill them gaps in. But the thing is,
Yeah.
you don't know where the holes are until the water goes into it. That's a concept that I say to people all the time. They go, oh, I'm really happy with my business, I'm really happy with market, I'm really happy with my systems, I'm really happy with my team. And I'll turn around and go, all right, let's pour some fucking petrol onto it then. Because
Yeah.
I can promise you, you'll start to see where gaps are when you start seeing petrol poured into it, which is more lead gen, more effort, more volume of content and everything going out. And that's obviously a great position. And it's especially for a group and any product is just because you launch something does not mean that you stop. Right. From that point is where you look at an assessment, reflective practice, and then go, right, where can we actually improve this? Right. And then most importantly is always coming back going, right, is the program still aligned to what obviously Eilidh wants and what the team wants? Are they still enjoying it? Are they still fulfilled? Because it's not just about the clients. It's not just about the community, right? If the coaches are getting bored of doing the same shit over and over and over again, they're not going to be passionate about it. People are going to see that. It's about how you can basically manage the operations timeline, the marketing intakes, the client fulfillment and client results alongside the team fulfillment. And that's exactly the same for every single type of business, but definitely in terms of obviously kind of group side of things. So in terms of your next steps right now then, so when you're in this position, I've pitched this idea to you. You're all obviously, is it two? You've got your sister and Emma, yeah?
Kirsty and Emma, yeah.
Kirsty and
So,
Emma, yeah, that's it.
yeah.
So what's your, and this is a big one as well, is getting into a management structure, especially if someone is one of your friends and someone's one of your sisters. How do you make sure that your team are managed at the moment? That's a question for you. I'm gonna start putting you on the spot now.
Right. So this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is the thing I've struggled most with in taking on, or I guess just expanding in general. I think when me and Connor first started working together, working with your partner is a challenge in itself, but I actually think we adapted to that quite well, surprisingly, but we did. And I think we continue to. I think because we both got such a even though we work quite differently, we've got a very clear vision and we both want to work, you know, we do want to work. And I guess we're doing it together. Anything that we do is better in both of our lives, if that makes sense. And, you know, anything we're putting out there is a reflection on both of us. And I think it is really scary taking on anyone. It's definitely been the thing I've found the scariest. But we've been so lucky with Kirsty and Emma, and what they've brought, I guess, has been amazing. However, like, they will not mind me saying this, I definitely have had to adapt to becoming, I guess, a manager, and it's not something that I would say comes to me naturally. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, I'm happy to do the work myself. I'm probably am quite a control freak in that I like things done in a certain way. And I've really had to learn how to manage other people and manage, I guess, like, remembering that just because I know something doesn't mean that someone else is going to know something, but also remembering that just because I think something should be done a certain way doesn't mean there's not a better way to do it. And I think that is definitely something that we're getting a lot better at over the last, probably since actually launching the group program. We've just had to get better at it because we're working a lot more closely. Like, it's different, a wee bit different when you've got your one-to-one clients, because you're a little bit more split off. Like, you've kind of got your clients, yeah, we were coming together, but like, now we're very much doing this together. So I guess, like, even tonight we're going to be having like a Zoom meeting and stuff like that, just going through a little bit more of obviously the stuff you've sent over as well. And, you know, we communicate every single day. Like, we do speak every single day. But it has been a challenge. Like, especially, and my sister will not mind me saying this, but managing someone who's a family member is,
That's what I'm about to say then.
yeah, like, we are literally best friends. Like, she's my absolute best friend. We speak. Connor's like, you just have a constant conversation going all the time. Like, we're
Oh,
always
yes.
saying, we're always, anytime I get in the car, I'm on the phone to my sister. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where it's probably been a little bit of a challenge, in that, like, she's usually, I guess, my outlet. So if I've had a stressful day, or if something's been a little bit difficult, or, you know, you lose a couple of clients or whatever it might be, she's the person I'll go and speak to about it usually, like, just to kind of, not even vent, but, you know, just someone to speak to. And now I feel like I've had to really stop doing that because it's affecting her, and I know it'll affect her confidence within what we're doing, and I don't want that to happen. Does that make sense? So that's been a challenge, but we're getting there.
No, it's bang on, right? So I preach about it, like hiring friends or hiring people you know, hiring people that you trust. But there are pros and cons to absolutely everything, right? If you hire someone that you do not know in any way, shape, or form, right? It's quite nerve-wracking because you've got to have like quite an authoritative figure for them to obviously respect you and follow what you're saying and build that relationship. And also, it does genuinely feel like you're almost treading on eggshells when you're basically managing someone that you don't know, because you're like, am I saying that in the right way, or am I not? And it's similar when you've got a friend or a family member, because you can be very open and honest and transparent with them, right? You can be like straight up, but at the same time, do you have that authority?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, because and it's taken us a while in our business. That, to be fair, like, I've got, they all are. There's not a single staff member I won't class as a very, very, very close friend now. But like, I've directly hired some of my best mates. So Ben Mahmood, who's our sales director, he was a sales manager at Virgin Actoons and Pure Gym. I think it was Pure Gym, one of the gyms anyway. But he got experience in that, so I was like, right, I'm hiring him. And then you've got Rob, who's he's the chief operating officer of all my businesses combined now. Both of them two guys, they're my best mates. I've traveled the world with Rob. Like, I've been through thick and thin with both of them, right? And it's hard because, like, I'm hard on them, but I have a good balance of how I communicate with them as well. Like, Rob's like, he was a teacher as the head of a department, so he's used to managing stuff, and that's why I hired him, because I was like, wait, I need that in my business. Like, and I also trust him to do it properly. Like, he's probably one of the most impressive people I've ever worked with in over 10 years, and I do not give him any credit for it in any way, shape, or form. And he knows that. And he knows that. No, I do not give him credit. I'll give him a compliment every now and again, just so he's aware. But the thing is, you've got to have that balance, because sometimes it's like you do need to have those conversations.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that,
And I think that's definitely something this year. I don't know what's changed for me, but I think this year I've just realized, like, right, okay, they're actually going to get more out of me, and they're actually going to feel they're going to enjoy this more as well. And, you know, I guess, like feel like they've got a clearer direction. If I am telling them, like not necessarily saying like you're going wrong here, you're doing this wrong, but like giving that constructive criticism that I probably was honestly not very good at giving even last year, because I was, you know, I didn't want to upset anyone. Like I'm very much like that as a person. Like I'm not a confrontational person, and I'm having to realize that, you know, it's actually kinder to have these tougher conversations sometimes and just be a bit more upfront about things. And I do think it's working. Like I do think we're working so well together as a team, even in the last little while. It's definitely been down to me doing that. I think that's been required. So yeah, it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah, you've got to work into your strength. I always say you've got to work into your strengths and you've got to work on your weaknesses, or you hire someone else to do your weaknesses for you. So using me and Rob as an example, I'm very, very, very good at making decisions. I'm very, very, very good at getting shit done, and I'm very, very good at getting straight to the point. What I am not good at is the intricate conversations on a micro level, which are needed for management. So people can, like, we have an open door policy at all times. It's open, honesty, and transparency. But sometimes it's not about just having an open door. It's about someone asking those questions. I'm not that guy to ask those questions because I'm so focused on where we are going all the time. I don't look back. Whereas Rob comes in and he's like, he'll basically he'll do the stuff on a one-to-one level with people, and he'll ask them questions, and he'll do that bit of digging, and the outcomes that he has for me, like I'm obviously the arrowhead of the business, but him and the team are the shaft to make sure that we are obviously staying in line and we're all straight. Because if not, I just fuck off and everyone else has looked like all over the place. And that's how it's been. That's how it's been before, where I'm sprinting and I'm like, oh shit, like
Expecting everyone to keep up with you.
yeah, I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And then but then it comes down to getting those people in those roles, and it all comes like I've got like we've got standard operating procedures for absolutely everything, but just basic level shit going right. Here's a meeting structure, right? So we now have like I've done a massive review on all my stuff because I basically got to the point recently where I was like, wait, I'm investing so 80% of my time when I'm at work was on agency clients, businesses. So I was like, which is great because I'm still delivering all the stuff that I said to him, but I said I am spending minimal times actually supporting and managing my own team here. And they're the people who think so. I changed it around so it's like I have consultant operations, agency team, Propel Project is a new online course plug coming soon with me and Drew, and then consultant marketing. So 5 hours every single morning I focus on my team. I've done that this week for first, like I've had odd meetings here and there, but having that obsessive set structure and having a meeting agenda on a week-to-week basis, and everyone's so clear for the week. And I think when it comes to managing a team, it all comes down to going, right, look, we might be best friends. You might be my sister, you might be my brother, you might be that. But this is the meeting, what we're going to have. This is the agenda, and these are objectives that we all need to hit so everyone benefits from it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it definitely is. Like you can see how it works. And I think it is definitely getting the balance between, you know, being approachable and, you know, being a good team, I guess, working together. And like I think that for us it's very important that we are presented as a group of girls that, you know, we genuinely do get on, of course, so well, but like that is important to us to be presented like that. And I think that's where I was probably a bit conscious of, like being this person that was like, I didn't want to be like, you know, telling them what to do, but I think now I am like realizing that there is definitely a bit, you know, there's a balance there. So yeah, definitely still a big work in progress for us, but we are getting there.
Right, final one. What's the long-term goal, mate? What's the personally, what's the long-term goal? Professionally, what's the long-term goal? When are you getting married?
The 7th of December this year. So
Be getting married in Castle, aren't you?
yes, we are.
Yeah.
So that's, oh gosh, yeah, that's kind of just taken over my life at the moment. But it's exciting. It is exciting. Connor's got absolutely nothing to do with it. He keeps saying that. He's like just literally going to turn up. So
Yeah,
I said,
that's what I like.
yeah, I said to him, I was like, you need to get your kilts organized, and that's it. Okay. So he's hopefully going to turn up on the right day. So yeah, got a very busy year. I am like I'm a family person. I, you know, like to see my friends and stuff as well. That's always going to be important to me. So this is a busy year. I've got a lot of stuff on socially, but I've also got a lot I want to do obviously within the business and keep growing the Balanced Girl Society. So that is definitely the focus for this year. And then do you know what? It's a really difficult one because I think like I'm not just saying this. I know it's like quite a cliche thing to say, but I just can't believe like when I first started working with Connor, like I remember when I left my job as a midwife, like, and he left his job, we both kind of said, listen, if we're earning similar amounts to what we were in the old job, we're happy. Like, seriously, like for me, growth was never really something I thought about. I don't know. I've not got people around me that own businesses, or that wasn't really something I'd ever considered, I suppose. So this is still quite new to me. The fact that we've got from where we are to where we are now, where we were, sorry, to where we are now is like, it actually does blow my mind sometimes. Like, I know it's nothing compared to some people, but for us, it's just mental. And I think probably long term, it is quite hard to say because things do change and you can actually surpass what you think you're going to achieve as well, which I think's, that it's always good to aim high, but I think sometimes things happen and it just takes off even more than you think. So I think like long term, I kind of hope, I guess, that the clients that I attract and like what I really do pride myself on being very authentic and like real on my social media and with my clients and stuff as well. So I hope that the clients that I attract and work with and members within the society or whatever ends up happening are people that kind of like grow with me as well. Like I guess like long term, ideally all going well, I want to be a mum in the next few years and I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but just, I suppose, have a bit more, it keeps using the word structure, but it is true. Like I just want to feel a bit more relaxed week to week, that I know exactly what's going on week to week and that I'm able to, I guess, keep that balance there throughout changes in my own life as well that are ultimately hopefully going to happen one day. So
no, that's very, very similar. That's very, very similar to my own goals. I've done. I sit down. I sit down with my team and I was like, look, I'm not being funny, but I've achieved everything that I have. I've achieved 10 times more than what I should have based on my starting point, and I've achieved everything that I set out for myself to do. I said, right now, like this is how I want this business to grow. This is who I want to work with. If we earn less money because of that, I'm not bothered. I want to enjoy every single client that I work with. I want you guys to be fulfilled. I want our clients. Like for me, reputation is more important than anything at this day. And this point now.
I couldn't agree more. Like I think it's, although obviously like making money's great. Like I'm not gonna say that that's not a motivator, but I genuinely has never been the main motivator for me. And I think me and Connor are both probably quite similar in that way, that our reputation means far more to us than how much money we're making, or taking on clients that aren't actually suited to us, or constantly pushing out and taking on more people than what we can actually work with and still give a good service. So I think that's definitely, honestly, my goal is just to keep doing. Even this morning I had a wee moment where I thought, God, I just can't believe that this is my life now, that this is what I do, and I just love it. I genuinely do love it. So I suppose that is just the ultimate goal, is just to keep doing what we're doing, but hopefully build it even slightly more.
Yes. Right, wrap it up there.
Thank you, Ben.
Last to go over that, a lot of advice on group coaching models, and also a little bit of a different one. And that's what I kind of want to do, is just show that, look, it's not just the big hitter influencers and sort of like people that we have out there with bare followers. I've got least followers out of most people in my client base, in all fairness, in my community. But yeah, obviously great account to work with. It's been a pleasure working with them both, and as long as they've got peace of mind, as long as they're happy, even though I do want them to push a little bit harder sometimes. Like getting that shit done today on this meeting later, that'd be great. But as long as you've got happy clients, you've got fulfillment, and it's just an enjoyable process. So thanks for everything so far, and thanks for the podcast, mate.
Oh, thank you so much, Ben, and thanks for everything so far. We'll see you later.
See you later.